What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, we are probably looking at one of the most important times, one of the most crucial moments for Solana's price within the last, I would say probably 6 months or so, that is going to dictate what the short, mid, and long-term future holds. And so with that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be updating you all what all we're seeing from this descending wedge that we've been tracking since the beginning of November, as well as what we're seeing from our long-term 1-year support and resistance channel that tells us that the times and the tides may be changing. So with that being said, of course, let's go ahead and let's get straight to it. No BS, no fluff, just all facts. So what we're looking at in today's video, again, first and foremost, this descending wedge. We've been tracking this descending wedge since approximately November 7th to November 8th, and it has been it's been incredibly important, right? We knew that this is typically a bullish pattern in which we're going to see, an uptrend. We'll see a descending wedge in which we're seeing a bit of a consolidation and a cool down in our indicators, which is eventually usually followed by a break to the upside. Well, what kind of sucks is that we did get the break to the upside, but that was followed by a crash back to the downside due to your good old Evergrande BS. So with that being said, of course, we are now in the threat of seeing a breakout to the downside now that we've seen a quote unquote fake out to the upside. Now, of course, is this guaranteed? No, it's not, but it does become more likely. So what we know is that we have 6 days between the apex of this support level, that's this ascending support level, and this descending resistance level. December 15th is the last day that we have to push back above $200 in order for us to see this key level of support hold again, as it has multiple times over the last year. Again, we saw it here, we again saw it here. And so what that means for us is that if in the next 6 days we do not start to work our way back towards $200, we are likely going to see the very first loss of a crucial level of support. Now, is this the end of the world? No, this is not the end of the world. Generally speaking, when it comes to cryptos anyway, we will see that these ascending wedges will break to the downside. That is what happens. But what this tells us is that Solana may have finally found its space. If we see its price break to the downside of this key level of support and hold down here, it doesn't see a bounce and a fake out and a continuation back inside, and we just literally just see it work its way out and start to find its way out here. What that tells us is that this exponential growth that it's been seeing over the last year to find its place within the crypto market itself may be finally coming to an end, and it may be in a position that makes sense. And I think that that is not a bad thing, right? We've seen Solana slowly work its way up to the top 5 to top 8 cryptos over the last year, and I think that's where it belongs. And now that it's found a spot that it belongs in terms of market cap, it would make sense for it to see this exponential move to the upside start to slow down. Okay, so that's something we need to be aware of. Now, is this guaranteed to happen? No. One option that could happen is that if the price does come back down, for example, and we lose this key level of support, we have two key areas that could actually push us back into this resistance and support channel. Now, option number 1 is of course going to simply just be the level of support that we are establishing on our descending wedge. What that means for us is that if we do see a break to the downside, we could use this level of support to see the push back up above this level. Is that likely? Probably not. It is more likely that we maybe see something like this, in which we retest this as resistance and then we start to consolidate out this way, even possibly go up to set new all-time highs, but just not within our big exponential channel. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more likely. Okay. Now, we also though have the weekly 20 EMA coming into effect at around these levels as well. So if we were to lose this key level of support, we do have this 20 EMA on the weekly that could very well provide us with enough support to continue our move to the upside. And so overall, if we are to lose the bottom side of this key level of support, it does not mean that the end of the run is here and that we're not going to be able to see Solana continue to the top side over time. But I do believe personally that it would mean that Solana's exponential growth, seeing it 5x, seeing it 10x, is definitely starting to slow down, and we may need to start lowering our expectations of where this thing can go in terms of market cap and in terms of size. And so what we need to be paying very close attention to is over the next 6 days, where does this thing go? Do we start to get daily closes below this key level of support? And if that is the case, are we able to find support and almost near immediately recapture it? If not, likelihood is we could see something similar to this, right? In which we break out, boom, and we hit our heads. And again, into January, we continue upwards at $300 plus. But I think we need to start taking our aims off some of those $600, $700, $800 if it does, lose the ability to hold this level of support. Now, if it does hold this level of support, we're still within the realm to see the moves to $600, $700, $800, but it would of course take a parabolic move from the rest of the market as well. So not only does it depend on what Solana does, it also depends on the rest of the market. And I think the best thing that we can do right now is kind of just monitor this thing, but not really, watch it too closely. Really just kind of wait it out. Let's see what happens. Not make any trades. I'm not making any buys, any any sales. Just want to see how it plays out before making the next move. And so, of course, I will update you guys as soon as that does happen. So with that being said, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, you can, of course, let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.